Hey Ganesh, welcome back to Canva. So in this video, we are moving one step ahead in our Python journey. In the previous video, we have installed Python and written our first Hello Ganesh program. Now it's time to understand how Python reads code, what variables are, and how different data types works. Of course, with hands-on examples. So here we will be covering three core topics. The first one is Python syntax, like on what basis the Python actually reads code. The second one is variables in Python, and the third one is data types in Python. So after this video, you will not only just understand these topics clearly, but will also be ready to start your own basic programs. So let's dive into this. Let's start with the Python syntax. Syntax are the rules that tells Python that how to read our code. Just like English has grammar, every programming language has its own syntax. In Python, the syntax is very simple and clean. We don't need to use semicolons or curly braces like in other programming language we use, like in Java or C++ or C. Instead of that, in Python we uses indentation. Indentation is nothing but spaces or tabs which defines the code blocks. So let's see how it works. Let's understand by actual example. So how we say 5 is greater than 2 in mathematical language? Simply by writing 5, the greater than symbol in mathematics, and the 2. In Python, we write like this. Like suppose we have a situation where we need to print that if the 5 is greater than 2, on the console, we need to write that 5 is actually greater than 2. This is a simple situation. So we write like if 5 is greater than 2, then print in parenthesis 5 is greater than 2. So notice here, we didn't use any curly braces, we didn't use any semicolons, we simply use spaces or tabs, or in technical word we can say it's an indentation. This indentation or the space before print, this space before print tells Python that this line, this print 5 is greater than 2, this line belongs to this if statement or if condition, this 5 is greater than 2. So if you remove that space, remove the space before the print, it will definitely give you an indentation error. Okay, so that's why indentation is super important in Python. It really keeps your code clean, readable, and structured. So that's all. So this is how the syntax of Python is, simply the indentation or the spaces or tabs. In the next video, we will be moving forward with the variables in Python. Okay, so let's move to the next concept, which is variables in Python. So variables are one of the most important part of programming. A variable is like a container or a storage box where we keep data for later use. Or in another word, we can say that variable is nothing but a named memory location or a container to store a data. So let's take a simple real world example. Let's go to the VS Code and let's create an file called variables.py. Okay, so imagine you have a label named a name and you want to put the data inside it, which is Vishal. So in Python, you can create a variable simply by writing the variable name is equal to and the data inside it, which is currently I'm putting Vishal. The next variable is age and I want to store my age in it, which is 25. Again, the next variable is height, and I want to put a height of mine, which is 6.2. So here we can say this name, age, and height are the variable names which stores different kind of data. The name variable stores the string data, the age variable stores the integer, and the height variable stores the float data. So the next question is how we can use this variable in our code, or what are the use case of this. So you can use this variable anywhere in your code like this. Suppose you want to print on the console that my name is Vishal. So you don't need to hard code the value Vishal. Let's simply write print my name is and comma and name. So this will simply gives as output as my name is Vishal, because name variable consists the data as Vishal. So simply the next one is age. So my age is, and if we say age, it will print as my age is 25 and my height is 6.2. So this is how you can use the variables in your code. Suppose you have written 1,000 line of code, and in the middleware somewhere you have written a name, or you have written Vishal so many times. Now you want to change Vishal to any other name like Sachin or Ganwa. How you can change that? If you hard coded the value, there will be no way you are going. You have to go through each line of code and then physically see where the Vishal is present, and you need to manually modify it. But if you use variable name is equal to Vishal, and in everywhere in your code, if you use name, then there is a chance you can just simply go at the top of the code, then change this name to Vishal to Canva, and boom, your whole code base will get name as an Canva because you have modified the name. This is the use case of this variable term. It's very important in programming. So you need to use that properly in your code. So again, the one of the most important thing about Python is every time you assign value, Python automatically notes its types. Like in C or in any other programming language, you have to define the type like int, float, string, or varchar, or whatever it is, character. You need to define the variable's data type. But in Python, it is automatically knows its type. You don't need to write it manually. For the writing variable names. So there are some rules which we need to follow while creating any variable or writing any variable name. The first rule says that variable name must start with letter or an underscore. Like we have used at the first line, we have started the name in the letter, but we can start the name with underscore as well, like this. We can do like this as well. The second rule says that variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores, like the characters A to Z, the numbers 0 to 9, and the underscore. This simply means we can't use the special characters like this name hash. We can't write this like this because this has a separate meaning, and this is not a proper way to write an variable name. The third rule says that variable names are case sensitive, like this name, first name, then the second name which has an first letter or first character as in capital. These both are different variables. This name and the second name is a different one. So whenever we are creating any variable names, we need to keep in mind that whatever name we have declared, we need to use that name as in the code base, because whenever we use another name which is declared as a name, and when you use here the name as capital N, it will give an error because there is no name is defined in the program or in the file like this. So the meaning is the variable names are case sensitive. The fourth rule says that variable name cannot be a reserved keyword. Reserved keyword in the sense of the keywords which is used in the Python building, like this: if, else, while, for, true, false, and there are many other variables or many other reserved keywords are there, which is used in Python for their own purpose. We can't use them as a variable name. The fifth rule says that variable name should not contain spaces. We can use underscore as well, but we can't use spaces. Like if you say I have full name as Canva, but it consists of an space, which shows that it is an invalid variable name. But when we use underscore in between that, it is an valid variable name. So that's all about the variable names. The one more not in the list, but we need to follow this standard that the variable name should be meaningful and descriptive. Because suppose we have height, right? We have assigned a value of 6.2. But suppose you have to store a weight of the person, but you are storing in the height variable, like this height is equal to 60, but this 60 refers to the weight itself, not the height. But you have written and 60 to the height variable. This is a wrong way, or this is not a good way to program things. So you need to keep in mind that. This is all about the variable term. In the next video or in the next part of this video, we will be covering the data type itself. So let's see that. Okay, now let's explore the next concept, which is data types in Python. Because every value or data in Python has its own type. So let's see the most basic ones we will use daily. Here I have created a table, which is like structure, a table like structure of data type with examples and its description for the better understanding purpose. So let's go through that firstly, and laterally we will go to the VS Code and check out all the data types in action as well. So the first one data type is int. The meaning is integer, and which is used to denote the whole numbers. For an example, 10, -5, 200, whatever the whole numbers are there, which are comes under the integer category or integer data type. The next one is float one. It stores the number with decimals or the decimal numbers. The point values or the number with the decimal numbers are present inside the float data type. For an example, 3.14, the value of pi, or -2.5, 3.7, whatever the point values are there, which are present inside the float data type. The next one is string. Strings are basically denoted inside the double quotes or the single quotes. And string stores the data which is text or the characters. So the next one is Boolean. It stores the logical values like a true or a false. Like true or false. True refers to the one, and false refers to the zero in the binary term. So the next one is list, and list are created by using the square brackets. Inside the square bracket we put the values, and each value is separated by using the comma, and it stores the collection of items. The next one is tuple, and tuples are represented by using the parentheses, and the same as list, the values inside it are separated by using commas. There is a similar things in list and tuple, but the one thing which is most important in tuple is tuple can't change values. Once the tuple is defined, once the value inside the tuple is mentioned, we can't modify the values literally. But in the list, we can change the values, we can modify the values as per our need. So the next data type is dictionary, and dictionary stores the value in the key pair uh, sites. Like Whenever we have a key and its value, then we store the key value pair inside the dictionary. Like we have a name, attribute as name, and value as a Ganwa, or attribute as age, and value as a 25. Then we store that kind of data inside the dictionary, and dictionary is basically created by using the curly braces, and the value inside it, key and pair, are separated by using the colon. Similarly, yes, and the key value pair is separated by using the comma. Similarly, let's say this kind of data types in action. Let's go to the VS Code. Let's create and file called data type.py. And yes, the next one is, firstly we will create different kind of data types, uh, variables and their values. So the first one is integer, so we will create an integer variable a is equal to, and we will store the value as 10. For the float value we will use b is equal to, and the value is 3.14. The third one is string, so we will store the name, so the variable name is name, and we will store inside the double quote the value is Ganwa. The next one is easy, which is a Boolean type, and we will store the value as true. So we can store only two values inside the Boolean data types, true or false. So we will true. If you think the course or the Python is difficult, you can put the false, but I think Python is easy, so I'm going to put an easy to the true. So the next one is list. We will store a numbers list, like numbers underscore list is equal to, inside the square bracket we will put 1 comma 2 comma 3. So we have separated the values by using the comma. The next one is tuple, and we will give the variable name as tuple values, and is equal to, tuples are created by using the parentheses, so inside the parentheses we will put the values as 1, 2 and comma 3. The next one is student. So student is a dictionary type, so we need to store the data inside the dictionary by using the key value pair. So we will store the first key as a name, which is inside the string format, so I will put it inside double quotes and then colon, and the value is Vishal. So inside the double quote it is a string, so we will put it inside the double quote. Then the comma, the next key value pair is age is the key, which is I am going to put inside the double quote, and then colon, and the next thing the value is 20. So all the data types and its examples are done. So let's see them in action. Like we will check out the output of this by printing the variables, like is it really storing that kind of data or not, and then we will check the type of it. Okay. Okay, so let's print a, then the next is print b, then next print name. The similar way we will put everything inside the print statement and check the output. So here is the output. It is perfectly showing output in the console. So nextly you can check their types, really the data types, because we have we have been learning this data type for us as well, right? So we need to check the data type of the variable, so that we can confirm that yes, this variable stores this kind of data. So let's check by using the function called the type. The type function gets the parameter as an data or the variable name, so we will put the variable name and check the data type of that variable. So the first one is print type of a, and yeah, this will show the data type of a, which is int. So we will check it in the console. Let's see in the terminal. Okay, so it is giving the int. So for the next one we will use print type of b. Similarly for the string, print type of name, print type of is easy, print type of numbers list, and print type of tuple values. And for the dictionary as well, print type of student. So this will all gives us an data type of each variable we have stored. Okay, so this is all. You can see in the terminal box, you can see the data type of each variable we have declared. Yeah. So about the data types, the point to consider is when it comes to Python automatically assigns the type of the data type based on the values, or based on the values we store in the variable. It is defining the data type automatically. That's called the dynamic typing, because it is coming dynamically. Not We are not writing int a is equal to 10 or float b is equal to 3.14. We are not doing that, right? It is coming dynamically, so it is dynamic typing. So keep going and keep practicing